welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to your late night 10-minute Manchester United transfer roundup, where we round up all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news that's coming in the last 24 hours that is relevant into a 10-minute video for you guys every evening throughout the transfer window, so you're up to date with all the news. We're going to start with Leny Yoro news coming in from Ornstein, an update on Desiree Doue, who United may pursue because a Sancho sale apparently is near completion, according to sources in Italy. Dan Ashworth wants Maguire out, Doue planned in, Leny Yoro planned to come in, Sancho to Juventus, Greenwood's new training plan as Manchester United training resumes tomorrow morning on the 8th of July. I'm sure we're going to get some really big updates and stories, as Sancho is also going to have a meeting with Ten Hag, but his sale could be close to going through. Van Nistelrooy is officially starting work tomorrow, so is the new staff. Big updates on Ligt, Zirkzee, Ugarte, the green light, and a few other stories about United going for a second centre-back. So make sure you hit that like button. And yeah, we've got a lot to get through, and I want to keep it to 10 minutes. So let's dive into the show. And subscribe, of course, if you're new. Starting with the potential update on Desiree Doue, it was said by the one and only David Ornstein that Manchester United is still actively pursuing a deal for Leny Yoro. Real Madrid is still at the moment Sinner's favourites to sign him. Now, look, David Ornstein has said this multiple times. United are actively pursuing a deal for Leny Yoro. We really like the player. Man United dream of bringing Leny Yoro in, and he's a fantastic 18-year-old player. As he said, Madrid are the favourites to sign him. Leny Yoro has told Madrid he wants them. Leny Yoro has told his agent he only wants Madrid. I think it's one of those where Madrid is stalling on the deal, so maybe United believe they have a chance. It's them and Liverpool. But I think because he's got 1 year left on his contract, like Camavinga, and we really wanted Camavinga, Leny Yoro is kind of like, well, basically they'll lose me for free, so they're going to have to lower the price tag for me by August when Real Madrid will get me for a good fee. Real Madrid are smart. They said, look, if you only want us, wait until August. They're going to lower the fee for you because they won't want you going for a free next season, and we're going to swoop in and get you. If not, we'll do what we did with Mbappe and get him for free next season. So I don't see us getting Leny Yoro, but I would love to. Now, one player we could get, but I think we've got to act quick, and this could depend on how quick we sell Sancho and Greenwood this week, which I will be talking about, is Desiree Doue. Manchester United, Chelsea and Tottenham are looking to immediately sign Rennes wonder kid Desiree Doue. Bayern Munich and PSG are also interested. Chelsea and Spurs want to sign Doue by next week. So that's an interesting update coming in. Chelsea and Spurs ready to press quickly on the Doue deal. Manchester United need to go and sell a winger. Ugarte, Zirkzee, Ligt is where the transfer budget is going. Anything else depends on sale. So that's Greenwood, that is Sancho. Potentially we could be close to selling Greenwood and Sancho. There's some interesting insight on that. So maybe the funds for Desiree Doue will free up, but as much as I'd like the guy, we could miss out on that, but maybe he'll wait. Now, interestingly, Dan Ashworth is at work at Man United, and he starts immediately with Vivel, who he's already brought in, and Jason Wilcox. Now, it was said on Dan Ashworth that Dan Ashworth and Erik ten Hag are ready to move Harry Maguire to Man United. Now, it's been made very clear that Manchester United want 2 centre-back signings, and that Ineos' plan is to have 3 top-quality centre-backs rotate with each other, which would be De Ligt, Lissandro Martinez, maybe Branthwaite, maybe Leny Yoro, whoever that third one is. Man United want to bring in a second centre-back signing, so it's really important that one of Lindelof and Maguire goes. Now, Lindelof is the worst of the 2 players, but Maguire they could get more money for. Maguire is on higher wages. And those in Ineos are telling Maguire he can go. Maguire doesn't seem interested in going because he's on high wages. Lindelof's agents had talks with a number of clubs. Lindelof will make a choice, but we're not going to make crazy money for Lindelof. Maguire doesn't seem interested in going, but we might say to him, look, you're going to get game time if you leave. Although that happened with West Ham. He didn't go to West Ham because he didn't want to take a wage cut, but Ashworth has told Maguire to move on. Ashworth has said to Maguire, move out of United, basically. Well, he hasn't actually said to Maguire, move out of United, but Ashworth and Erik ten Hag are pretty much probably going to tell Maguire, you can move on. You can move on. You're not in the long-term plans, which is fair. Now, reports are coming out from Italy, and I don't know how credible the sources are, but it's being, according to some people, a semi-credible source, large following online, from Italian sources, but there has been a few stories about this coming out from other sources as well, so it's one to keep an eye on, is Sancho. It was said breaking, negotiations between Sancho and Juventus are nearing completion, a loan of 5 million euros with the right redemption at 30 million euros, so option to buy, which becomes an obligation in the event of various objectives are achieved. United will share part of the salary. So what they're saying is, we may get a 5 million loan fee for Jadon Sancho, and then if he does well at Juventus, we get a 30 million euro fee, which is 35 million euros in total, which means we get around 30 million pounds for Jadon Sancho. I think that's probably our best bet. It looks like no one wants to take the risk and buy him now. It looks like if we're going to get Sancho out the door, it's probably going to be a loan fee with an obligation to buy. I think Greenwood we can actually get out the door, but because of Sancho, his wages I think people know that we're in a weak position as well. I think loan with obligation to buy is the most likely scenario with Sancho, and Juventus really like to do those loan with obligation to buy deals. It's kind of got Juventus all over it. So you know what? Let's move on this. If this is true, let's move on this. Let's get this done. We'll get 30 million for Sancho. I believe we can get 40 million for Sancho, but I think we're at the point where we just have to get him gone because he's not going to apologise to Ten Hag. He's not in the plans. He's on high wages. I think we're at the point where we have to take loss and get him gone. Could we hold out for 40 million for Jadon Sancho? Absolutely. Could we probably hold out for 40 with Mason Greenwood? Absolutely. But I think we're in a position where we need the money. We need to move them on. They're not in the plans. Let's just take 30 million for both. They're not Ineos signings. It's not Ineos' fault. They're on high wages. Let's go. So hopefully this progresses and he does well at Juventus, and then we can get around 30 million for Sancho with obviously his wages being mostly paid. So let's get into the next story. And this next story is on Mason Greenwood. So Sancho and Greenwood do return to training tomorrow, Monday, the 8th of July. But it's already been said that Mason Greenwood's unlikely to return to squad training, and it's still unknown what's going to happen with Sancho. He's going to return, but is he going to train with the main team? Is he going to train with Ten Hag? Is he going to apologise to Ten Hag? I'm sure there's a meeting between Ten Hag and Sancho tomorrow. MJ Critchley said that Mason Greenwood is set to benefit from an extended break while the club continues to work on a possible sale. Jadon Sancho should return to Carrington tomorrow, even if his differences with Ten Hag are not resolved. Whether Sancho will be on training or not, that'll be interesting to see. There will definitely be something going on between Sancho and Ten Hag. It will definitely be weird, but I think we'll get some updates in tomorrow on what is happening with Sancho's future. If Sancho to Juventus is close, it may be that Sancho just returns to training for like 2 days because they know he's close to Juventus, or Man United are like Eric or Ineos. Now Ineos are the door, they may be like, Eric, have him back in training so we're not in such a weak position to sell him. Because if Sancho comes back and he's kicked out of training and clubs know that in the transfer window, they're like, oh, we can get him on the cheap, we can get him easy. If it looks like Sancho could be integrated back, which I'm sure Eric Ten Hag won't want to do, and I have a feeling Sancho won't apologise, but if it just looks like Sancho's going to be integrated back, maybe we get more money for him. Now, Mason Greenwood is back in Manchester and he's been swapped with his dad and Shola Sholatiri training, but he's not expected to be at Carrington tomorrow. He's expected to be training separately, doing his own training plan with his dad, like he did last year. I think the quicker we get Mason Greenwood out, the better. It's better for him. It's better for us. He needs to be training with a club. He needs to be training with a team. So hopefully we can progress on that deal. United's plan was to have both Sancho and Greenwood out the door by July 8th, but obviously that did not happen. Now, talking about in the door, there's going to be a big recruitment meeting on Monday, which is tomorrow, where Manchester United will hold a recruitment meeting on Monday as they look to push ahead on imminent transfers. Deals are lined up for Zirkzee and Ligt, while United also determined whether to put forward another bid for Branthwaite. Ligt and Zirkzee are like 99% done. Netherlands are out the Euros. Deals will be done. Medicals, bish, bash, bosh. There is a green light for Ugarte there. The fourth signing would be another defender for United and also a winger when Mason and obviously Sancho are done, which could be Branthwaite and Doue. There will be a big meeting tomorrow. I think some big news will come out tomorrow, so make sure you subscribe with the post notification bell so you can stay up to date with that. But Man United clearly want Branthwaite. They clearly want Branthwaite, but I think it's dependent on Everton lowering the price. Now Everton know we've got Ligt and we have one centre-back sorted, they might be like, okay, they're not desperate for Branthwaite, so now we might have to lower the fee, but I don't think Everton are going to cave. But if they do cave, big up Man United. Let's get into the next few stories. It was said by The Athletic, and United faithful said this just in the report from The Athletic, that Man United hope to have both Ruud van Nistelrooy and Rene Hakke in place tomorrow. It gets better when you remember that Van Nistelrooy will be coaching Zirkzee and Højlund. Well, we know that Zirkzee is very close, and actually we're going to get into a report about Van Nistelrooy and Zirkzee speaking to each other in just a second, but it's really good that Ruud van Nistelrooy and Rene Hakke are in place tomorrow, the first day of training. The goalkeeping coach should be in within the next week. I think there's just like working visas and stuff. And then also Dan Ashworth, Jason Wilcox and Christian Vivel start work tomorrow, and Omar Barada comes in on Monday next week to start work. It's like almost everything's in place, and now we can start working on the transfers. I think this week, and that's probably going to say in the title or thumbnail, I think this week is going to be the biggest week. This week coming is on Monday. You might be watching this video on Monday. It's going to be the biggest week in terms of Man United transfers. I think everything is coming in place today, tomorrow, in the next week. I think the next few weeks at United are going to be massive. Now everything's in place, we can really focus on transfers, the ins, the outs, and obviously one of the ins that's really expected soon, and Romano said this, Zirkzee one step away from becoming a new Man United player. The transfer is expected to be completed in the coming days. Here we go, expected soon. Romano is saying here we go, expected soon. Tier 1, the most reliable sources out of the Netherlands as well, and we spoke about this in my live stream earlier, are saying Zirkzee will be a done deal after the Euros. He'll have his medical, is what Tier 1 sources are saying in the Netherlands. Romano also said that Zirkzee and De Ligt have given the green light. One player's been rumoured to leave Man United, but if we're bringing in Zirkzee, it makes no sense to get rid of Rashford because Rashford is literally the kind of player that Zirkzee is made for. Is apparently Saudi Arabian clubs reached out to Rashford, but Rashford's agent said, nah, it's not going to happen, and that makes sense. We know Rashford isn't going to Saudi Arabia, a bit of a nothing story, but they did express an interest. And as said by Romano, Manchester United have the green light from both Zirkzee and Ligt to join the club. He also confirmed last week that Ugarte gave the green light. So we've got Ugarte, Ligt and Zirkzee all giving the green light to United. We know that Zirkzee and Ligt have had conversations with Ten Hag ways convinced them to come. I think Ruud van Nistelrooy coming in, the Dutch connection between Ruud van Nistelrooy coming in has probably helped convince Zirkzee. The Dutch connection and the Ajax connection between Ten Hag and Ligt has probably helped convince Ligt, where he's turned down Champions League clubs to go to United and taken a wage cut to join United, which is amazing. And then obviously you've got Zirkzee may be convinced to join United because of Ten Hag Dutch connection, Van Nistelrooy coming in and been convinced of his role. But that is all your latest Manchester United news rounded up in 10 minutes for you guys. I hope you like the late night roundups. I'm going to try and do one every evening throughout the transfer window, but on some days where it's a bit quieter, I won't. So make sure you subscribe. I will do 10-minute videos most days and 2 live streams a day throughout the transfer window. Thank you for watching. Bye.